Michael and I are both in the same town at the same time.
We got an upgrade on the car.
Did we?
Yes, we did. Can't you tell? It's
Yes, it's massive.
there are smaller cars in the world. And we're off to the Winelands now. Who's driving, you or me?
I'll drive, you navigate. Let's do this. We're going to go and stay in Franschhoek, which is one of my favourite towns in the world, with William, who is a guest who came to the chateau earlier this year and invited me back to meet his wife and go and visit him in Franschhoek. So Michael and I are about to go. It's super exciting. We're in Franschhoek and we'll be there any minute now. Look at this stunning house. Can you believe we're staying here, Michael?
It is incredible, isn't it?
Here we are in UNESCO World Heritage Franschhoek.
Is it really UNESCO World Heritage?
It is, of course. We only live in UNESCO World Heritage.
Oh, right. That's a whole new rule I've got for buying houses in the future.
Well, I only live in a UNESCO World Heritage site in Amsterdam, so...
Well, am I the only person
The
here
only
who doesn't
person,
live
yeah.
in a UNESCO World Heritage site? I love houses in hot countries where you can live half inside, half outside like this. I'm staying in the pool suite, which is the bedroom just through those French doors. This is the most beautiful house. It's like stepping into the pages of House and Garden. Everything is perfect. It's making me want to become a new, tidy, organised person. I feel as I'm in an art gallery.
So let's fall down.
Gosh, this house is absolutely huge.
And this is the...
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Love these.
See what they're made of.
Is it collage?
Yeah.
It's so cleverly
Isn't that clever?
done.
This dog actually needs a better position. We're going to take him. That's charcoal. Magnificent, isn't
Oh, I'm actually speechless, which is rare. This one is splendid. She is beautiful.
it? She's very, yeah. And actually the detail in it is extraordinary.
I'm fascinated by the clothes as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the actual detail of it's just extraordinary. This is a photograph, believe it or not.
How is it possible that a tree is that big next to an elephant?
I think it's probably the Okavango, actually.
I cannot get over that that's a photograph. It looks like an alien landscape, the trees are so big. Michael, you're in heaven, art heaven. That lion is great too. I'm showing Michael my room. Look at this.
Oh, that's very nice. That's stunning, actually.
Wait till you see the view. So this is actually the pool suite. And the view.
That is priceless.
Look at this view. William has just brought us here for breakfast. And I can't think of anywhere more beautiful to sit first thing in the morning to start the day. Though I've been a little bit naughty. As we're in the Winelands, I am starting with sparkling. The restaurant is a glass cube looking out over the valley of Franschhoek. There. It's so beautifully designed. This vineyard is Haute Cabrières, which I know well. I've been here many times before. But in the past, the only place to eat was inside the cellar, which is also very beautiful. But on a day like today, it's wonderful to sit and look at the view. And I just wanted to show you all inside the cave restaurant, where you can look down into the cellar. Isn't that wonderful? Carved out of the cliff. Decisions, decisions. Scrambled egg and Iberico pork sausage it is. How excellent is this? I really like the look of yours, so I might steal a bit.
How much do you want to swap?
I've been so inspired by the art in William's home that he's taking me to the gallery where he purchases a lot of it. Already, I absolutely love that.
There's one of those.
Oh my goodness, I love it. We can't decide. There's 4 photos here that we want to buy. And Michael's refusing to buy one. There's this one, which is obviously largely based on Botticelli and also on the idea of medieval millefeuille tapestries. I always say millefeuille because that's a delicious cake in France. It's so beautiful. And then I'll show you the other ones. This one, she is beautiful. I love the hilarious expression on the child's face. The draping on the dress.
And what's the next one?
Over here. This one's based on the opera Così fan tutte. This is Lalande life. This is like our costume parties. This is an opera that I learned one of the parts of, and just everything about it. It's that whole world of France that really reminds me of home a lot. How do we decide? And then the first one that caught my eye when I came in, let me show you that one.
Okay. So I think that one is brilliant.
Yeah, I
It's
love
amazing.
it.
All of the details and the snake and the bats and the butterflies, the badger talking to the mouse. But this one, I think, it's Lalande. It's
Costumes,
sort of evocative costumes,
fairy
world of
tale.
fan. It's fantasy.
You're right, it's this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we've decided.
Yeah. Why are we now late for the
Look,
vlog?
poor William. William can't take it anymore. The pink one, right? Yes, thank
Are you sure it's the pink one?
Yes, it's definitely the pink
It's
one.
not the blue
no,
one?
I know it's the pink one. All of this reminds me so much of my father's art. Why can't you buy one as well?
This one here.
Oh, someone's looking sheepish. Yes, Michael's given in and he's bought this one, which I also wanted. So thank goodness we live together. Do you want to tell us why you chose the Botticelli one?
There's an African ground hoopoe riding a wild boar.
Well, fair enough. You can't argue with that.
It's my favourite bird.
Okay, so thank you, Hugo.
That's my spirit bird right there.
And that's Nick, the elusive Nick. So that works really well.
Yeah.
And that'll have to be me.
No, I think that's you there.
No, we're at your friend's Vineyard, Camberley Wines. And that's why, Michael?
We're here because they bought a photograph of Stephanie in Rhodes.
The one that I showed on the vlog of me walking down the stairs. Or was it straight ahead here?
Straight ahead.
And so Michael's come to sign it. How idyllic this place is. So how do you know the people who own this estate?
We met in Amsterdam and we've been on several holidays together. We went on a truffle holiday.
Don't talk to me about the truffle holiday. I know about that truffle holiday. No, stop. You
so
haven't
good.
stopped. Michael hasn't stopped going on about the truffle holiday that he had in northern Italy. I've heard about the menu with 8 courses of different truffle dishes. I'm sick of hearing about it because I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Was when the waiter came along with the nice white truffle and just shaved it straight into the dish and didn't stop. He didn't weigh it. He just kept
I'm going to get in the car and leave him
going.
behind. I'm going to leave him behind. This wine farm belongs to the parents of Michael's friend, and his mother Gail is giving us a tour of her beautiful home. She's a very talented artist, and I've asked to see her paintings. I love this huge, bold one, and this is a commission she's made. It's a painting based on a photograph of her friend's wedding flowers. You can see the original photo in her studio, which is filled with gorgeous paintings like this smaller version of her vase of flowers and these gorgeous irises. Can you imagine a more beautiful place to live, surrounded by the beauty of nature, good wine and art? Oh, this is good.
I saw it. You saw it on TV somewhere.
And you made it?
Yeah.
You need to come to France now, make some more. Love this. Isn't it divine?
It's quite cool.
Are you going to copy this, Michael?
Yeah.
Are you a real handyman?
No.
This is what you should have.
This is great. They have
You've got to have
little,
it
little lids
You gotta have
too.
sank, otherwise all the stuff's gonna.
You have to find Tupperware with a lip, so that it can go into.
Oh, suddenly you're the expert, Michael.
I can see what's happening. The sound back.
Here's the photograph that Michael took of me, and Gail's asked us for our advice on where we think it would look good hanging in the house. I think on the left-hand side of this window to balance the painting on the other side, especially as the one on the right has lots of arches, which echo the arches in Michael's photo. And finally, Michael is signing it.
Thank you so much.
I'll sign on the back, then I don't want to mess up his perfect bit along the front. But of course we can't leave without trying some of their delicious wine. Oh,
So
wonderful.
this is a Chenin Blanc that's pink. We're going to La Providence to see a very lovely German couple who've got a wonderful small wine farm.
I love this Cape Dutch architecture. It's such a treat to be coming here for a party. It's so perfect, I feel as though I've stepped into a Slim Erin's photo. And the food's given me a lot of inspiration for Lalande in the summer. There's prawns with lentils, unctuous cheeses with chutney, and beef with figs and asparagus. Oh, Michael, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Go on, eat it. Eat
No,
it.
no, I'm not going to let you film me eating it. Today gets better and better. Oh, this looks so good. In the most beautiful place. How's your day going, Michael?
Really good. This is awesome.
It's chocolate and, wait for it, beetroot. What? Yeah, chocolate and beetroot cake.
Shut the front door. You shouldn't film someone while they're eating.
What's happened? What, Michael, what's happened? What? This is two very happy men.
Have you seen the sunset?
It's in the sunset.
Yes.
I said I had to go and post this week's vlog. What have you done?
You said we offer one glass of wine.
Yeah, and you had one. It was a glass of sparkling.
That was a different.
And then I turned around and you had another one.
Wine.
What day is it today, Michael?
I don't know. What day is it?
It's a Sunday. And what day is Sunday?
The Lord's Day.
It's Sundays at the Chateau Day, so I've got to go and post the vlog.
We're not at the chateau, so
No, but I do wherever I am in the world.
I'm not happy about this.
Leaving. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
I blame you.
I know it is my fault.
It is.
And honestly, it's probably best I take you away from the wine right now. This is your beautiful home.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Lovely to have you.
This is the gorgeous monument to the Huguenots who first founded the town of Franschhoek. Before leaving Franschhoek, I really want to take you around the Huguenot Museum. The word refugee was actually coined to describe those first Huguenots that fled France, and it comes from the Latin word refugium, meaning refuge. For a long time, Protestant Huguenots had been persecuted in Catholic France. The worst day was on the 24th of August 1572, St. Bartholomew's Day, when thousands of Huguenots were massacred in Paris. But then in 1598, the Edict of Nantes was signed by Henry IV of France, a former Huguenot himself, which gave much more religious freedoms. But that only lasted 100 years because Louis XIV revoked the Edict of Nantes in 1685 and large-scale persecution of the Huguenots resumed. Their churches and homes were destroyed, many were burned at the stake, they were sent to prisons or executed in horrific ways, and those who escaped that were shipped to sea to become galley slaves. It's believed that over 250,000 Huguenots fled to countries that welcomed them. England received a lot of Huguenots, especially in London. They also went to America and came here to Africa. In 1688, the first boat containing 176 French Protestants arrived here in the town of Franschhoek, which is why so many of the wine estates in this area still have French names. The settlers came from all over France. Look at this. Prisoners or slaves would be chained to them, together to row, and a lot of Huguenots were condemned to be chained together in one of these galleys. And this is the sort of life that they were trying to escape. And this is that ship that arrived in 1688. Can you imagine coming all the way from France to the tip of Africa in this? I find it so moving that people left everything they knew behind to start a new life and founded this beautiful place and an entire new wine region in the world. Once they settled and created new lives for themselves, they still wanted the luxuries of France. And this is a Limoges dinner service that was sent to the descendants of those Huguenots living here. It was made for Mr. and Mrs. Christian de Villiers in 1896, so 200 years after they arrived here. But do you see the names written underneath the service? They're the names of the slaves that were owned by this family. And in escaping oppression, they ended up oppressing others. It's a small but very moving museum that ends with portraits of all of the descendants of the people who managed to escape France, including Roger Federer and Charlize Theron. Whoa, Michael! It's going to take longer than we thought, Michael! Since I was last here, they've added a perfume museum. You should see his face right now.
Let's go before we become refugees fleeing my aunt. And no! The bus is going. Bye! Unfortunately, I've had to leave Stephanie behind at the Huguenot Museum. We just don't have time, and she's gone off to a perfume museum. We gotta go.
I have to film the perfume. I can't believe Michael wanted me to miss this. It's a girly heaven. This is South Africa's first ever perfume museum, and extraordinarily, apparently all of this is one family's collection. There are perfume bottles from every period of history, and it brings back so many memories looking at them. I remember my mother always having L'air du Temps, and Chanel No. 5 instantly reminds me of my godmother. Isn't it amazing how powerful scent can be? Thought that people would want to see the perfume museum, and I didn't realise the time. But now we're going as fast as we can to Darling. To see the aunts.
Good. All right. You're more or less forgiven.
Halo?
I wouldn't go that far.
Have we found them?
Well, we found a bookshop.
Okay, that sounds promising. Michael's mother and Michael's aunt both run bookshops. It's a family trade.
Yes.
When are you going to open a bookshop, Michael?
Bookshop at Lalande.
Yeah, we should do.
Fine art and dining.
Oh, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Hello. Oh, wow. How well, Dolly.
Oh, it's so good to see you again.
How are you? How are you? How long is it since you were here?
I haven't seen this shop.
This is an unbelievably charming shop. Oh, little touch of England. And there are so many books that I instantly want to start reading. You found your happy place. It seems to be Shakespearean London entirely peopled with characters from his plays. What a gorgeous jigsaw.
So Evita is South Africa's most famous white woman, and she performs here at the Perron, which is a theatre in Darling.
And when she's not being South Africa's most famous white woman, who is she?
Peter Dirk Ace, who is South Africa's most famous white man.
I would think so.
And he's a
Sure,
good
that's
friend of
correct.
yours.
Very good friend of ours, yes. And some years ago he invited us to use this space as a bookshop.
This is so exciting.
Very
You're going to be
shortly.
here.
It'll be a wonderful partnership.
This is going to be a great space for the bookshop.
It's going to be a wonderful bookshop, yes.
And here are lots of paintings based on the old masters, all of Evita. They're absolutely hilarious. Holbein, Olympica. This, obviously, is the best one for France. Delacroix, who actually had a studio in the chateau very near to us, because he had a studio in Georges Sand's chateau. He was her son's art tutor. And my favourite, because it's Evita and Peter together.
When Mandela was president of this country, he invited Evita to address Parliament. I think that's a first in the world.
Well, this is a very promising name. This is going to be Michael's heaven, I know it.
Welcome to the Toffee Factory. If you look through the windows, that's where 22 ladies sit and they handcraft every toffee. Everything is natural, no preservative or anything synthetic, and you're very welcome to taste.
Oh, I will, thank you.
Over here we have our 10 toffee flavors, and over here our 5 soft caramels.
That was hard to choose. Brilliant. Thank you.
What?
Caught you.
What? This is all... No.
Really, that's vegetables. That's all vegetables. That's all
It is.
vegetables.
No.
Michael. How many did you get? How many packets? How many deep is that?
If you get 6, it's 10% discount, so it seems silly not to.
Silly.
Silly. Oh, no. Look, this is brilliant. This is really good.
You need
Yeah,
it.
you can take these, and
Oh, I can
then
have
I don't
all
look
these.
so guilty.
This is the
Darling.
best salt in the world.
I always have space for salt. Really, I love salt. I think I love salt more than any other food stuff.
Really, you can actually see here.
The water washes in and it ciphers through many layers of shells and it collects underneath in a kind of a grotto. And early in the morning they go out and they harvest the top layer, and that is where your vleugelsel comes from.
Oh, you're a poet. Cape Town, here we come. There's Table Mountain, Michael. We're on our way. It was so good to see your aunts.
It was fantastic.
Our house.
It's our castle and our keep.
We're the kids in South Africa. Whoa. We're the kids in South Africa. Whoa. The very first time I came to Cape Town, which must be about 25 years ago, it was even before I met you, Michael, I stayed at the Mount Nelson Hotel, and I think that was the most glamorous thing that had ever happened in my life to that point. So on a complete whim, Michael and I have decided that we're going to try and stay there tonight. We don't have a reservation, we're just going to drive there and find out if we can book a room. I hope it's not too expensive. Oh, this is bringing back memories. Pink loveliness. They had us at sparkling wine, didn't they, Michael?
Yeah. Everyone's got their price.
Yours is a glass of sparkling wine.
Patty in their hands.
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
Michael has been a complete angel because when we were told the price of an entry-level room, I decided we couldn't afford to stay at the Mount Nelson tonight. But Michael said that it wasn't a problem, he was going to get the room because I have just bought an amazing wallpaper for one of the rooms at the chateau. And I can't tell you more than that about it at the moment. It's super hush-hush, top secret, but in the future you'll see what I'm working on. And because I have just spent all of my money on wallpaper, Michael is getting me a room here as a treat. And then the hotel, probably hearing this desperate conversation between us, have upgraded us to a nicer room as well. So it's the best day ever, and we're staying at the Mount Nelson, and they've given us a free glass of champagne.
Did he? That's just crazy.
He did it.
Surely not.
He did
Not
it.
him. No.
I have the best friends in the whole world. I'm getting so many ideas for Lalande here. I'd love big pots filled with huge leaves like this. We're in an oasis in the middle of the city. Shall we press the button of where we're going? Isn't this the best lift? Look, they have all these amazing book spines.
But they're behind a cage. You can't get any of them.
Well, as they're only this thick, it probably is just for the best. But it's a great idea. It looks really good. A false door like this would be nice. This place is like a warren. Do you remember? Well, we're on floor, Michael. Oops. What a sight to wake up to on the last day of my holiday. As I suspected, it seems Michael is already up and in the swimming pool. Oh no, he's out. And he's walking back to the hotel. I think this means I'm supposed to be ready for breakfast. I better get up. Okay, I found my favourite section.
I've decided to go healthy for my first course. I've got kiwis, pineapple, passion fruit, melon, and grape.
Great, that's you being healthy. Okay, well, this does embarrass me a little bit that that's what you're having.
Yes, I've gone all healthy.
This is what I have. So I reckon our food, I'm unhealthier, but in the drink, I'm much healthier. That's spinach juice. Well, this is it. It's the end of the holiday. And it was a perfect ending. I've had such fun with you, Michael. It's been great. But unbelievably, I'm not going to Lalande next week. My holidays continue because it's time for my holiday with Jerry, who has bought me a trip to Vietnam for my Christmas present, and it's in 2 days' time. So next week you can join me on a cruise up the Mekong to Cambodia.